the way our psyche and everything is made. Insights, walking the path as a woman, taking a very untraditional path for this day and age. How was your journey been?
It was not very easy. It was very hard. You hear all the stories, people throwing stones and the women saints walking. Something like that extraordinary step a woman has to make. Out of blue, this girl is saying, I don't want to study in university, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to do anything. The only thing I want to do is sing and dance for the divine. Why we want to do that? There is no career in it.
This video is an excerpt of my show, The Forgotten Essence of Indian Culture and Temples, that airs live on iHeartRadio via Ruckus Avenue Radio. I grew up in the US, but my longing to know more about my roots took me back to India for over a decade, where I discovered there's much more than most people realize. In this episode, we have Parvathy Baul, a practitioner, performer, and teacher of the Baul tradition. She carries their vision forward through Sanatan Siddhashram in Birbhum, West Bengal, a Gurukula dedicated to preserving Baul's oral history and spiritual practice. Her music and presence embody devotion, simplicity, and the mystic spirit of the Baul path.
So first of all, before I start speaking to you, because I know that this talk is going to many people and it will reach many people. So I do my pranam to my gurus, Sri Sanatan Baul and Sri Shashanka Gosai, who has brought me to this path, and I do the Guru Dhyana. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandatidam Gaganasatvresham Tattamasya Dhilakshayam Ekam Nittam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triganarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. So anything I am speaking to you about the Baul tradition, I have received from my teachers, Sri Sanatan Baul and Sri Shashanka Gosai, and they have received from their teachers, Vrindavan Gosai, Nityananda Gosai, Manohar Khapa, Nitai Baul, and many, many other masters who have blessed them. Baul, as you said, that Baul is a very ancient parampara, and Baul is also very new for this time. Why it is ancient? Because the sadhana prakriya that is followed in the Baul path, that is coming from the yogic, bhakti and tantric traditions. Why it is very new? Because it was practiced only unassumingly, because there were these minstrels, yogis who liked to live in the very remote places, maybe beside a small village or a community. Some community knew them and they would come and visit, but only very few people knew about them. Yet the Baul masters had profound impact in all the society of Bengal, because they carried the very essential spirituality, especially the one's own experience with divine. Like we can do a lot of worship, we can do a lot of sadhana, we can do a lot of pujas, but when we really don't have that intimate relationship with the divine, then it's very difficult to bring that quality or that divyata into the life. So to turn this mundane life into a divine life, this is what the Baul were teaching to the people who came to them. They never reached out. And Baul is a Guru Parampara, so it happens like only after the Diksha. And there are different layers of the Baul society, you can say, this spiritual sampradaya. One is the hardcore sadhakas, that the yogis, they are extreme in their sadhana and they will be only dedicating their life and full time into the sadhana. And that is the punya or the spiritual merit they are bringing into the, in front of us. And from that, we are getting inspired and it is spreading to us. So their spiritual seva or the service to the mankind is to do sadhana. just to sit and do sadhana. Then there is another layer of sadhakas who receive this knowledge from these great yogis. They are like pracharakas. One who would spread this message of Baul to the villages, to other people, to the world. Then comes the next layer, people who receive. There are grihasthas, like householders. For them to live like a yogi, extreme life, it is not possible. Because then they have to become yogi and they cannot follow grihastha ashram. So there is a way of receiving Baul in the Grihastha ashram. Because you can live as a sevak even in Grihastha ashram. Because I think our whole tradition, from the Sanatana Dharma, that's what was taught. How you can make everything in life, even the Grihastha life, into an offering. And the Baul also is transmitting that knowledge. That how you can make your life into a divine life, into a life that celebrates, a life that is freedom, and life that is to be together and to experience it together, teach that together. So even though the yogis are isolated and alone, but they are giving that knowledge of how to make it beautiful, their life. So this another layer of grihasthas. So they were also the one who are holding this sadhana. Because they came and they provided for the ashram. They did seva to the ashram. They were the people who were like the fort around the Baul master. And through them, other grihasthas, other people also were touched. And they came to the master, they came to the source. So that's how this whole work, whole Baul work or Baul spiritual path, that's how it happened through centuries. I think there's so many revolutions and so many changes that India has gone through. So people from the village, they went away and started staying in another place. New people who came, they didn't know the circumstance there, or they didn't know the people there or the community. So it more like a mixed crowd it became. So this is why all this attempt that all of you are also doing, like teaching it back to the people who actually held it. So I feel that my work is also somewhere similar to give back things which already exist or existed in the people who held it, because of whom it happened, to remind them again, to return to that. That is why we need to relearn, which was already, like natural, it was like breathing. So in this time, which was not necessary in the old time, we could learn easily by watching our grandfather, grandmother. Now we want to learn it like fresh. So this is what is Baul. Even for Baul also, it is the same story.
So the Baul that is being practiced, does it mean that somebody can also be involved in the modern life and the society and still have a essence of Baul path within themselves at the same time?
I think that is the goal, because the modern life is so big and it is so forceful that we cannot escape from it. It will grab us more and more through the time. But how we can do is that how we build our inner, that what will reflect in all the work that we do in the society. And how we react to the situation that is there in the society, or how we address the situations that is around our life also. So having a very strong inner anchoring into a tradition, into a practice, having a strong inner spiritual life, it will give us more clarity in our life. I mean, it is a truth spoken by everyone. So even living in a very modern context, one can follow inside oneself the Baul path. Because when you internalize the teaching inside, no matter what you do, it will reflect in your action.
The Baul, when we see you, your whole body and your whole spirit, everything is all coming into one synthesis. Some people, I think, seem to see it like a music or a dance, because visually that's what we see and we hear. but from you we hear there's much more layers to it. Can you talk about the deeper layers behind how you use the body and the sound, and you connect to something higher using these two tools of the human system?
So you see that from 15th century onward, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he gave the Harinam Sankirtana at that time. Because for people, it was very difficult to follow something with so much strict rules. Any sampradaya or kula, it requires a lot of atmatyag, lot of renunciation from inside. But everyone was in need of that rasa, of that sweetness of divine. So he said, okay, let's do Nama Sankirtana. So this singing and dancing aspect came very strongly. It was there even before, because as we find the Siddhas of Baul, because Bauls were known as Siddhacharyas. Baul name came much later, from maybe 10th century or so. Because Bengali language also went through a lot of changes, and the Bengali you hear today is very different even from 18th century Bengali. The words have changed, so many things. It's continuously evolving language. So the Siddhacharyas, when they wrote, which is a old Bengali, they were songs. All the transmissions were through songs. Why they choose music is that this is something everybody can connect to. And music stretches the time. So when somebody listens to the music and really immerse, instead of listening to a lot of talk, but music is something, and learning the teachings through music, because it is the duty of the sadhaka, because he knows the aspect what the poetry is talking about. Because Baul songs are spoken wisdom, wisdom song, shabdogan. So how they sing, they are like telling a story with comma, with semicolon, with full stop, with exclamation mark through their voice. So that gives the right bhava of that philosophy or that teaching, that transmission. So then for people who do not know any shastras, people who has no idea, it clicks. Something clicks in them. Say, oh, okay, it is in this way. But it is because that it already, when the music happens between the bhakta, the devotee who is a seeker, and the yogi, the music is happening, then that barrier is broken also. Music also breaks the barrier of hierarchy, or somebody is low, somebody is high, or the fear of not knowing, it makes it more settled, I would say. Music has that energy. So the Baul master took the music as a medium for transmission, but to perfect the sound inside you. People will listen to you only when you are a Bhaksiddha. People will not listen to random people in the street. They will fight. Why you are saying like that? They will say. You are not supposed. They will argue back. But when a yogi tells something, hours and hours he is speaking or she is speaking, nobody reacts back. They are listening. Because they have entered into that mature consciousness that is also reflecting through their voice, through their sound. Because it's like eyes, they are the window, to our inner being. The voice is also something that is the true window to our heart. You cannot hide. You will understand from the voice, how is this person? If the person is blocked or open, if the person is happy or sad, even if somebody tells you very nicely something, but you'll understand that there is no life. It doesn't mean what he's saying. If you listen carefully, because sound cannot lie. So how to mature that sound inside? For that, Baul took this yoga of the sound. They perfected it through their sadhana and practice, which is singing and dancing at the same time. And this brings a lightness in the body. It is the same effect of the pranayama in the yogic sadhana. Like, if you want to learn a way, either you learn homa, you learn either chanting slokas, or you do mantra japa. Bauls sing and dance, and same thing happens in the body. Because there is a way that masters, they have found a way how to do it. It is really not to become a very good singer or very good performer. It is not about glamour. All this show business and all this thing came later. It was introduced to us. People celebrated a Baul master not because he was very attractive or not because he was a fascinating singer entertaining everybody. Because when they sat under him and listening to his voice, they received something. They received the transmission of the divyata, of the divinity. They realized something that was in that song that they need to integrate it into their life. There's a pure teaching that they received. They received peace and clarity from him. And that is why they came to the Baul master to listen. So, the Baul song and music served the humanity to transmit the spirituality.
We were talking about the pranayam and Baul practice of using sound and dance. How you use the body and the voice in a way that is connected to the different layers of the human prana system.
For example, first, you need to quiet your body. That is the first thing. To quiet the body, one must practice Hatha Yoga. That is the beginning. All the cleaning process, everything must happen because the body should be able to hold that voltage, that high voltage that need to pass through. And if the bulb is of 60 watts, it cannot hold 1000 watts. So first to prepare the body. And we practice, I'm speaking very separately and very practically, is that we do a lot of sadhana of just singing divine names. That is separate. Then Hatha Yoga is a separate thing that we do. And there are kriyas. The kriyas are the movements which is with sound and breath, which doesn't really have a song or anything like that. And that is practiced over 2 or 3 years. When there is a connection one can find between the voice, body and the mind, then one is able to enter into the realm of the Baul songs, which is only after 2-3 years. It is a slow process. And above everything, no matter how much technique you practice, above everything, what is most important is Guru Sannidhya. You need to be guided by a Manaviya Guru, that is a Guru in human form. And Guru Sannidhya, that is you have to be under the shelter of a Guru and you have to spend time with the Guru. And naturally this will get transmitted because when we learned from our Gurus, we never had any formal classes or any courses. We just followed him and received his rhythm by serving him. And through the time, we received his rhythm in our body. That's all I can say. He made us practice all that Hatha Yoga, or he gave us instruction, or even sometime when the Guru is sitting there, he will not teach you how to do asana or something. He will tell this and this and this you practice. Then he will send you or she will send you to the experts who know that. And then you go and learn it from there. You practice, you ripen it, come back and show it to your Guru. Then he will look at you and understand. Okay, now next level. So then again he will instruct. So this is the work of the Guru. And the teachers are there, the instructors. That is called Shiksha Guru. And this is the Guru, who is a Diksha Guru. So one who is initiating you continuously, is opening one door after the other, according to the growth of the student. And then he's sending to Shiksha Gurus. You can have many Shiksha Gurus. Shiksha means learning, Shiksha. So that you become disciplined by knowing the Shastras. Shastras of the Baul means Baul songs. Baul songs has everything. All the teaching, all the yoga, all the instructions of the master, everything is given in the Baul songs, which is called Mahajanpad, in the form of Tattva. That is our text. It's an oral tradition. Guru Mukhi Vidya. That is why Guru Sannidhyam and the instruction from a Chetan Guru, we call Chetan Guru, Guru who is awake, is essential. And there also how to choose a Guru. Ha is responding to that. Kala, chup karo. So there is a clear instruction also, the lakshanas of a guru and lakshanas of a student. So anybody coming new to the path, this is my recommendation to everyone, is that you first know what is the lakshanas of guru, and you must know what is the lakshanas of a shishya. You have to also check whether you have the lakshanas of the shishya or not. Then only you can come to a guru. First you make yourself ready to be a shishya. It's not easy to be a shishya. And then you choose your guru and follow the shastra.
What you're saying comes from a very ancient way of approaching this path, but you know better than me that in this day and age the human has changed quite a bit. So what is it like for somebody like you who's so rooted in this lineage to be continuing this work with people who have maybe no longer the same routine that they had when your previous guru started it? I was just asking about what it's like in this day and age with the kind of minds and westernized ideals that people have, even in India. What is it like for you to continue this with such integrity?
You know, I feel that these traditions are so old, if you really look at. And the tradition also have gone through a lot of changes. If you think of 1,000 years back, how the yogis sit, and how now even the Chetan masters like Guru who are awakened, how they live is different. Because that circumstance is not there now. The condition of living has changed, no? That old time even electricity was not there. It was a very different kind of a thing. As the life changed and people also moved on, society moved on, the yogis and the tradition also changed and they adopted. But the essence of the teaching, whether it is 1,000 years ago or it is now, it is the same. The realization of a person is the same. The same way one can connect to these different layers of the of beings that we can say, there is the divinity that is all above, that is the divyata, but there is also many other layers of consciousness. That also now also it happens in the same way. Even if somebody is living in a very modern city, it is right there in the human body. There is a deep memory in the human body, which is coming from the past. So who can ignore that? But as you said, we need to find out a way, and I feel the masters, they always have found out the way how to keep the tradition moving in the new way, adapting to the new life that comes again and again. Even the ages, Satya, Treta, Dapar, Kali, it changed. The ways of worship changed. Where the focus was in Satya Yuga was not the focus of Treta Yuga, was not the focus of Dapara. So the Kali, what we are in right now, our focus is also has to be according to that age. That is the work. That is the work of a teacher. That is the work of a student also.
Are there any modifications or any alterations that you can share?
Yeah, the first thing is that where we are sitting. This Kshetra itself was not there for Bauls. It has to be very unassuming in a small akhada, and people came, people left. You will not even know it's an ashram or something. There was no established rituals or established way of introducing to people, look, I are so and we practice so and so. But it became my master, Guruji, Sanatan Baul, he had told me, Baba had told me, that it will become more and more essential. Like it was a oral tradition, but you have to write books now. Because people's memory is like that. When you have a oral tradition, means this is the only information they would keep in their mind. They may see a small thing, but now when you're loaded with your information in your hand, on the screen, how much can you use, how much of your brain can you really keep active? Those who really ready to commit and go for that yoga of the oral tradition, that you have to memorize and archive it in your body For that, the amount of time that you should dedicate, if you're ready for that, you can go for that even now, in this age also. But I don't know how many people can do it. That is why writing down, the learning method has to change. It has to be like anusthana, kind of, like how you say courses. It's basically an anusthana. That you do certain practice, this, and then when you other work that you have to do, that time you maintain like nitya upasana, but in a like keeping the lamp going, and you have to concentrate with the other work for your sustenance of life, for all other things, and then there come a moment where you can fully dedicate a certain moment that fully into the sadhana. So this is something, but we have to keep it continuous, and I feel a lot of things has to go internal way of practice, and practicing from in and introducing the practice in the daily life. I don't understand one thing is that people come and people say that, oh, we have so many work, we have so many things, we cannot do any practice, we cannot do this, we cannot do that. But look at the ashram people. How many things we do? We do so many things. We do administration, we do communication, we receive people, we serve people, we take care of the garden, we practice our Nitya Upasana, we go and also do satsang around, we do go and do Nama Sankirtana. And we also have to find way of how to sustain the ashram, because nowadays everything runs on currency. So how it works, how the economy of the ashram should work, for that also we need to work. So many things that an ashram person is doing. As spiritual practitioner, it doesn't mean that you are sitting under a tree and everything is blissful. You too have to take the responsibility. As long as you have your body, you are part of the society. So this is an excuse, I would say. It is not the right not the right approach. So I feel that we have to keep up our practice no matter what, because সময় গেলে সাধন হবে না, সময় গেলে সাধন হবে না. When the time pass, your practice will not become fruitful. You need to have the youth, you need to have the vibrancy of your body and mind, curiosity, all that. With the age, with more age, we want to more settle. And you, at the age, when you grow old, you want to enjoy the fruit of the garden. You don't want to start a new garden. You don't have the strength to do that. So gardening has to be done when one is young.
Ma, I wanted to ask now this point about different phases of our life. So in the Baul path, how is this aspect of death seen? It is such a big part of human life, but most people tend to forget it's there until something shocks.
Oh, no. This is so unfortunate, huh? Because that is the truth. মরণ কারো কথা শোনে না, মরণ যখন তখন যেথায় সেথায়, বাপরে বাপ দিতে পারে সদাহানা, দিতে পারে সদাহানা, মরণ কারো কথা শোনে না. মরণ কারো কথা শোনে না. It's like the death never listens to anyone. মরণ যখন তখন যেথায় সেথায়. Death can appear anytime, anywhere, at any door, at any place, anytime. And they will enter your door even without asking. Can I come in? No, they will not ask. They will just open the door and enter. Then Baul say, মরবে বলে মনে রেখো, বেশি দিন বাঁচবে দেখো. Remember that you will die. That will make you live longer. So that is the Baul way of seeing the death. He said you die before your death. Jyante mora. You die before your death. Then you really celebrate life. You see life as it is.
So Ma, one thing, last time when I saw you, it was 12 years ago, and this you have built so much in this in the ashram here, and as a woman I'm very proud actually to see this, because it's such a big thing that you have done. So can you talk to us about what you're offering and how has the journey been through building this infrastructure through this space?
Sanatan Siddhashram is a name given by my guru, Sanatan Baul. And why it is Siddhashrama? Because here you come to become perfected in the practice that you are doing. Here we focus on a lot of sadhana. The ashram is still in the building process. Ashram is still evolving. But at this moment we hold only short period of teaching sessions, especially in the winter time. And they are called, sannidhyam, like people come and spend some time with me and they learn how to discipline themselves. First of all, that is the first thing that we teach. And then they come to understand how is the life of a Sevadasi, the women Baul masters, because how they have dedicated their life to serving to the Baul tradition. If you look into their lives, you will learn what is Bhakti. Just by talking to them and just by being with them, you learn what is Bhakti. And that is very natural in them. It's no pretension. They embody Bhakti. They really embody Bhakti. So even if you learn big papers in the Bhakti or any academic institution or anything like that, but if you come and live with this mass who have been serving the ashram silently for years after years, you learn Bhakti in 1 second. Just with one word. There was a beautiful moment I want to remember. One of the participants asked Shumati Ma, who is very elderly Baul mother. She lives nearby. You will see her tomorrow. She will come. Shumati Ma, she comes, and one of the woman participants, she asked, Ma, you can do it yourself. Why did you get, all this women agenda of, being independent and all of this came? So why you have to be with another man sadhaka when you can be just a woman and you can do it yourself because you are full of bhakti? Then she says very sweetly in one sentence, in the path, when you have to travel a long distance, it is better to have another fool with you. You yourself is a fool that you are following this path. So instead of one fool, better to have two fools together, that you can spend the time and go. I just love that, it is so simple, but it's so profound. Two clowns together going. So that is the approach and the lightness of the Baul, that it makes it so down to earth. And that is what I love in this tradition. That is what I want to transmit. That you don't have to be something or someone. You just don't have to be what you are. You just drop that also. You become a Baul.
Oh,
Drop everything.
that's the Baul path.
Yeah. Drop everything. All the ego, all the things, all that we hold, that we think we have to hold. Drop everything. Like it's a pure surrender.
Now, this you're talking about the ma. Of course, once you enter, in my understanding, in subtler ways, there's no difference between a man and a woman. At the same time, we have a body, so there is definitely a difference. And even the way our psyche and everything is made. Insights, walking the path as a woman, taking a very untraditional path for this day and age. How has your journey been?
In the beginning of my learning years, it was not very easy. It was very hard. You hear all the stories, people throwing stones and the women saints walking. You hear Akka Mahadevi has to tear off her cloth and walk away from the house. Something like that extraordinary step a woman has to make. So that also was made, in a different way. But first of all, to understand that what is the life of these bhakti yogis, what is the life of Baul, that understanding itself is not there. Now today everybody somehow more or less know me, so they respect. But when I was just a young girl, just imagine Out of blue, this girl is saying, I don't want to study in university, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to do anything. The only thing I want to do is sing and dance for the divine.
She was 16, right?
Yeah, and so that was something very crazy. Why we want to do that? There is no career in it. That is the first, how you will survive. They're worried for me. So that, what, first when you are born in a society, so when you want to choose a path, it is something that for a man or woman, you have to go through a lot of tests. Divine is also testing you through this only. But suddenly, but as you has told me, a woman maybe have to go through a little extra. And they have to prove a lot. They have to really prove to be extraordinary. Otherwise, you cannot make a space even in the spiritual world. You have to be extraordinary. But then question comes, why you have to be extraordinary when the divine is there everywhere? And when in front of divine, there is no man and woman. When there is in front of divine, there is no question of whether somebody acknowledges you or somebody not acknowledges you. So all that question comes inside. Then you see that it is only the relationship between you and your divine, you and your guru, and there is nothing in between, nothing in the side, nothing in the back. And then you become in union with your guru, and everything is taken care of. Everything is taken care by the guru. And you are here because of his will. If you have that very deep inside, when a woman is practicing and is challenged in the path, which often women face a lot, because women are expected to do certain duties, so is man. But the women maybe they are forced a little extra, extra push they get. So in that time when one is vulnerable and one is in the conflict of what is my role and what is my duty, in that way you have to only immerse yourself in the guru and you will see everything. When you are serving your family, of course you are serving. When you are serving as a sadhika, you are serving the whole world. The whole world is your family. As a mother, you are serving one or two child. As mother, you are serving millions of children. So it gets bigger. Brihad Samsar. Big family.
Is there any way that an artist can also bring some element of the Baul approach to their art?
What I can exactly say is that to know what is the purpose of your art, whom are you serving with your art, and what you want to bring in the consciousness of the people. Sometime when I watch, sometime in some festival I had opportunity, people express overly beautiful things, which is not, it is a pretension. Sometimes people expressing only violence, that is also a pretension. So what? These are the emotion levels. These are very basic levels. But when you put the approach of adhyatmikata into the art, that's what happens with the Baul. It becomes a yoga. So the dance must become a way of a prayer for the divine. You must embody divine. You must bring down the divine in your body. So when people witness you dancing there, people must see the divine is dancing there. Because people cannot see divine with their eyes. It has to manifest only to human body. So if you make your body, the adhara, so ready, divine will manifest in your body. That is the work of an artist. Through the painting also. Through the sculptures, when we look at the sculpture of, that Nataraja dancing in Chidambaram, or even when you see in Tarapit, Tarama's face, it never goes away from my mind. The moment I close my eyes, I think I see it. It's done by an artist only, by a sculptor. But what he saw, what he manifested. And along with ritual and prana pratishtha and the yogic, it became power. So that's what you need to give the prana, the power, the mantra, the japa. Everything has to be part of the art to manifest that beauty. So that how it can become a yoga, a complete path. Art, music, dance is a vehicle to realize divine. And Indian, our Bharatiya Parampara, they have shown it. There've been artists who were great sadhakas. They were yogis. What about Mirabai? A great composer, but what a yogi. What about Ramprasad Sen? You will not find who can see Kalima in front of his eyes and write those songs with that kind of understanding of ragas. Muthuswami Dikshitar, Annamacharya, all these great, they were saints and they were artists also. So they took this art into a yoga. It became an offering. And I wish to see that in the artist.
Indians who are outside of India, the parents are often trying to make us fit better into the Western society, so our survival is taken care of. But there's another side where they want us to not move away from our roots and stay grounded in where we come from, in our culture and in our dharma. But sometimes these are conflicting because many times they are, especially for a young person who has not seen too many things, they're quite opposite many times. One is more materialistic, more trying to gain things for ourselves, and one is more moving towards surrender and another way of being completely. What would you suggest for any parent or any person, even a young person who's living outside of India, who wants to be connected but is not able to relate with their own culture? Or what can a parent do to help their child connect better with their own roots in Bharat, their own culture? What suggestions would you have for people in this situation?
I feel the most important part that is there is the relationship with grandparents. That's a very important part. Our what we cannot be with our parents, we can be with our grandparents, and that helps a lot. Like even when Prem was saying about his tata, his whole spiritual journey started from the interaction of with the grandfather. So they have more time for the children and they have the patience, and parents get agitated with the children. So this relationship, these values of the relationship of family, that they need to nurture, and that is the elders who have to nurture. How to bring this sanskara of how to respect elders, how to be with elders, and they have to show it in their action also. Because that is the root of our culture. The family is the root. The first school or Gurukula is our family, where we grow up. So that is the samskara. There it is not like they have to take them to temple or they have to feed this ritual. That no, they have to give that relationship, so that the child, when they grow up, they are able to see my mother in the Kali, or my friend in Krishna. That relationship they have to understand. In the Western society, I think a lot of this relationship is lost when we go there. These values, the family values, the way we hold in India, that has to be implanted there. But that is possible because it's human. The relationship is built between human. It doesn't matter in which country you are. You can grow that at home.
We talk about Sanatana Dharma. This is our indigenous culture. So what was your experience of seeing the other indigenous, maybe any exposure you've had to other indigenous cultures in other parts of the world?
Many things we can relate to, many rituals, like especially connected to elements. For example, Native Americans, the ritual they have with Panchabhutas, 5 elements. That's very much similar to the aspects that we also use in our rituals, with the Panchabhutas. Even the arati is done in that way. Many shamanistic rituals that I find a lot with the ritualistic, the trance rituals that we have in Sanatana Dharma. The footwork, and also how they connect to these different layers of beings. For example, we have Sukshma Sarira beings who are serving as Upadevatas. They are not fully in that, it's not divine, it's like they are the attendants of the divine. And there are different ways of connecting to them because they are very much part of the nature. There's something, because even in the Kanhopad song, when he says, there is an invisible world beyond this visible world. You know, it's like the milk has butter, but we cannot see. We see only milk, but the butter is there. Only when you churn, you can see the butter. Similar way, this invisible world is there, beyond what we see as it is. So this way of connecting through the shamans, through the oracle traditions of different cultures I've seen, and the oracle tradition of us, even the ritualistic patterns are maybe a little different, or how it manifests is different, but ultimately they're connecting to the same Upadevatas, who is representing the same aspect in the nature, because it's the same nature everywhere. Yeah. Many things are same when it comes from the earth, from the 5 elements. It's the same. So Baba told me to create this Sanatan Siddhashram, which was meant for the Baul tradition, which is meant for Baul tradition. And this practice is the central of this path, this space, this kshetra. I would love to, serve myself. Like I ask always to my gurus that make me a good instrument so that I can serve well. So I hope they will give me that mind and that, buddhi that is necessary, that intellect that is necessary to create, and that grace also, kripa. Kripa, there's something that kore pawa. This is a beautiful way of explaining in Bengali what is kripa. It's like you have to do it in order to receive it. You do it, you receive it. So that capacity of doing the service, this is the only thing I want to ask from my gurus. And with that blessing, what I would like to hold the space as a space that you can have all the different gurukulas can come together of Baul tradition. Because Baul tradition has so many different schools, and often they have different way of approaching, and that time sometimes some schools cannot come together because of the difference. And I would like to see that we are becoming united in a way as a Bauls. It's like it is necessary for the entire Sanatana Dharma, I know. We need to understand each other better. We need to unite better. And we need to respect each other better. So that way the Baul must come together in order to hold the Baul in this time and to carry on from here. We have very few generations of the masters who has seen the previous generation masters. So before they get very old, the knowledge has to be transmitted to the newer generation. So another prayer of me to the universe, to my guru, is that bring me the right kind of people who would learn and hold it and carry it on. And with all their heart, like really ready to dedicate, So that kind of a group of generation should come up who would carry on after us with the same essence and discipline of the past masters, and without dilution also, and to hold this space as a kshetra that can bring the different aspects. Because another thing you need to understand, that Baul is the essence of the entire sadhana that came from the Sanatana Dharma, be it yoga, be it Tantra, be it Vedanta, be it the Siddhas. The essence that is there, Baul start from the essence. It is a very subtle sadhana. Like people who really, they have really renounced, has come to a complete vairagyam, they only can be called as the Bauls. All other as Baul Anuragi, like we are devotees or followers or something. But the Bauls are the one who is Purna Vairagya. So they don't even want any spiritual merit out of their practice. They don't want moksha, they don't want nirvana, they don't want anything. They just want to be there and serve. And they want to serve even after their death. So they sit inside the samadhi, and they serve the humanity. This is the attitude of serving. It's not to what I get, it's what I can serve. How can I be useful? So this is the whole approach. So that comes only from Vairagyam. So that kind of people, that is essential to hold this kind of traditions, this kind of sadhanas. It's not about courses. It is not about a time frame. It is not about these sadhanas are in so many depths that one has to give their life into it. Especially the condition that we are in at the moment in India. If we really have to bring this up, we can of course educate people. We can of course say that integrate into your life, but there has to be a number of people who have to really give them into the fire, like ahuti into the sadhana. Otherwise, we will not go from anywhere. We have to deepen our sadhana right now to be able to hold that what our ancestors were holding. So we need that. I'm always praying, give me that, bring me that people who would be holding that. The Baul holder will be held in that way. So this is something I wish that I have created this adhara to attract this kind of say a mandala, to attract those souls to come and do their sadhana here. To realize Baul, to arrive in that Purna Vairagya, you need to understand many other aspects, like the Shiksha gurus I was talking. So there I want to create a stream of sadhanas that you can learn, like the yogas and the Tantra. And of course the Baul is always there. And then the Shastriya Jnana and the service-oriented practice. So these are the layers that one must cross to be ordered to be in the Baul. If you don't have knowledge about all this, it's like when you want to be a dancer, you have to learn mudra, you have to learn footwork, you have to learn abhinaya. They're all aspects that makes the dance. So if you want to dance the Baul, you must learn yoga. You must have knowledge about Tantra, what is service, and what is Shastra, in order to go beyond learning and not learning. So these aspects also will be part of this Adhyatmika Vishwavidyashatra, that is the spiritual university. It's a very traditional way of transmitting. It is nothing very big in the scale because I feel that only with few people you can really transmit. You cannot work with. There can be devotees and followers coming, and they can take something from here from this garden because that will serve their life. But the people who will really hold the tradition, really carry it on, there are only few in number. So this is meant for that.